From Miami-Dade, Broward, and the Keys, this is South Florida's CBS 4 News.
Another bitter blast of cold weather for us. Right now, parts of South Florida are under a frost advisory, but a big change is on the way.
The freezing weather has been widespread and has a lot of you waking up to this ice and frost. These are pictures from our viewers of a rare sight we haven't seen in our area in years. Good evening, I'm Shannon Horry.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez in for Antonio Moore. Let's go straight to CBS 4 Chief Meteorologist David Bernard. He's in the Storm Center with the latest. David?
Well, temperatures taking a tumble again tonight, guys. Check this out. 41 right now in Coral Springs, Weston at 43, and Parkland is at 44 degrees. Notice these winds are light out of the northwest. That's favorable for temperatures to continue to drop tonight into the 30s and the threat for frost. Now in Miami-Dade, some of our colder readings right now include Avocado Elementary School at 47 in Homestead, and in West Dade at Curry Middle School and also at Braddock Senior High School, temperatures are currently in the mid-40s. So what do we have in effect for tonight? We do have some winter advisories still going. We have a frost advisory for far southwest and South Miami-Dade and also for far western Broward. Now, one thing that has happened within the last hour or two there are some clouds that are streaming across parts of South Florida. That could save the frost tonight in South Dade and far western Broward, so we're hoping that that trend continues. It would also keep these temperatures a little bit warmer, but if we stay clear and the winds go calm, this is the coldest potential tonight, about 40 for southeastern Broward from Fort Lauderdale to Hollywood. In Miami-Dade tonight, again, if the skies clear out and it gets calm, we could hit low 30s with a heavy frost in South Dade. Otherwise, 95 from the Gables in Miami up through North Miami, about 40 degrees. Also potential for patchy frost in far northwest Miami-Dade. On the beach tonight, a little bit warmer with a temperature of 44 degrees. We'll take a closer look at a warmer trend for the weekend in just a few.
David, thanks. A lot of us are just not used to living with this frigid weather, and it's taken a toll, even sending some people to the hospital. TV4's Natalia Zaya is live at Jackson Memorial Hospital tonight in Miami, and doctors there, Natalia, say they're seeing more patients.
Yeah, they are, Shannon. This is a very big concern for them. I mean, the hospitals are seeing a lot of people who are injured because of the cold weather, from carbon monoxide poisoning to frostbite to hypothermia. These temperatures are really hitting our community hard. Neighbors in this little Havana apartment complex knew something wasn't right when they hadn't seen 93-year-old Miguel Aleman or his roommate, 77-year-old Wilfredo Arreyes, since Friday.
People were like knocking on the door, calling them.
Jose Johnson says he called police all weekend, and finally this afternoon, rescue crews broke into the apartment, finding this mess and the two men on the floor.
We observed a white male, 93-year-old, laying down on the floor facing upward. Barely naked. To the room on the right, we observed the 77-year-old male fall facing down in between the dresser and the bed. A lot of fluids on the ground, frozen.
The men had frostbite on their feet and backsides and severe hypothermia, especially Arreyes. He was unconscious when he was taken to the hospital.
So right now I'm concerned one of them is in a coma, so we don't know if we're going to go through, and the other one's still in bad shape.
Neighbors say none of the apartments here have heat. Dr. Mark Grossman has seen an influx of cold weather-related cases at Jackson Memorial Hospital. He says you don't have to be in the cold long to develop hypothermia, and it can be fatal.
Everything sort of shuts down. The bodies, the EKG may look like flatline, and the person may resemble clinical death.
Carbon monoxide has also sent South Floridians to the hospital. Julia Saldana and her 4 kids were treated for carbon monoxide poisoning after 2 of her children passed out overnight. The culprit? Saldana brought a barbecue pit indoors to heat the house. That's after someone stole her family's blankets and warm clothing from a laundromat.
I am capable of understanding what the situation was. I realize, and the truth is, I thank God who was with us. The situation was very alarming, and it was very painful.
Now, we really have to be careful when we're dealing with these temperatures because we're just so not used to it. Please, if you have elderly relatives, friends, neighbors, please check on them. They are the most vulnerable when it comes to this kind of weather, especially if they don't have heat inside their homes, as was the case for the 2 gentlemen who were suffering hypothermia here tonight. We're live at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Natalia Zaya, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Natalia, thanks a lot. The bitter blast has also taken its toll on crops in South Florida. In the Redland, temperatures in the 20s ruined tomatoes on the vine and destroyed the plants. Farmers say much of the winter vegetable crop is gone, along with millions of dollars in income for them. And you can expect higher prices at the supermarket, perhaps 20% more by next week. The cold is also killing fish, believe it or not. CBS 4 viewer Jim O'Donnell snapped these pictures in Marathon of dead fish coming ashore. We were curious, so we contacted the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. They say this is natural with the cold weather and that they are monitoring the situation.
Other animals are not faring well in this Arctic blast either. The cold has put many iguanas into shock, as Ron McGill from Metro Zoo showed us today. Not all of them will survive, though. The cold temperatures might have killed smaller Burmese pythons in the Everglades, but some animals are doing fine, like the manatees in the warmer water near Port Everglades. And we've learned that some schools were not quite ready for the cold. 24 Broward schools are having trouble with their heaters, so several classrooms had no heat today. A teacher at Sterling Elementary in Hollywood said her classroom was 40 degrees this morning and eventually warmed up to only 56.
My classroom has been a little cold for the past 2 weeks. Was kind of chilly. I was shivering a little.
Oh, the Broward District tells us it has been trying to keep up with work orders to fix the heaters. CBS 4 has the largest weather team in South Florida. We have you covered on air and online at cbs4.com/weather. And when you wake up, snap a picture of the weather where you are. Then send it to us. Email your snapshot to pics@cbs4.com, and you might see your picture on TV.
Well, all eyes will be on the city of Miami tomorrow as voters go to the polls to fill 2 city commission vacancies. In District 5, Michelle Spence Jones is seeking re-election after being suspended following her arrest on corruption charges. Spence Jones is facing 8 challengers in the district that includes Overtown. The other seat is District 1, which includes Wynwood and Alapata. Angel Gonzalez left that office after entering a plea deal on bribery charges. We'll have live team coverage of Miami's special election tomorrow. The polls open at 7 a.m. and we have a list of polling places on our website, cbs4.com.
New details tonight in the case of Michael Brewer. He is the boy who was set on fire in Deerfield Beach. Tonight, we're hearing from Michael and what he said to detectives about the day that changed his life forever. Here's CBS 4's Carrie Codd.
Michael Brewer knew he was in trouble.
I need to get out of there.
Why?
Because I know something bad's gonna happen.
Michael was referring to the moments before he was attacked at the Lime Tree Apartments in Deerfield Beach last October. Michael said Matthew Bent, also known as Zeke, threatened him the day before over money.
He said, I got something for you. He goes, don't worry, I got something for you and your friends, too.
Michael spoke to detectives from the hospital 6 weeks after the attack. Michael said Bent and several other boys saw Michael near the apartment complex and started harassing him.
I started walking away, and Zeke said, come over here. Nobody's gonna hit you. And somebody poured something on me and let me on fire.
Michael described what he felt.
It's cold stuff all over my clothes, and all of a sudden it started burning.
Michael told detectives as soon as he felt that burning, he ripped off his shirt and took off for this pool. With Michael's burnt clothes scattered on the ground, several neighbors rushed to help.
This guy comes running out too. He tries to pull me out of the water. And I said, no, leave me. Because my skin was like hanging.
Paramedics rushed Michael to the hospital with burns over 65% of his body.
Like, they're all right here.
We also heard for the first time from a teen who witnessed the attack. Calvin Kenny said he saw Zeke talking to Michael Brewer. He said he also saw Denver Jarvis, also known as DC, with a bottle of alcohol behind Michael.
DC was standing behind him, and Zeke's like, yeah, pour it on him. And then that's when DC poured it on him.
Detectives say that is when Jesus Mendez held a lighter to Michael and set him on fire. All 3 teens are charged as adults with attempted second-degree murder. Michael Brewer, meanwhile, is still recovering from the attack. In Fort Lauderdale, Carrie Codd, CBS 4 News Tonight.
I recently spoke to Michael's grandmother, and they're looking for a new place for them to live because Michael is scared to return to that area.
I know it was so important for him during the Christmas holidays to be home, and he was able for that time period.
Yeah.
Then he was back in the hospital, now he's back home.
And now back home again.
Yeah.
Well, if you would like to make a donation to help Michael Brewer, call Neighbors for Neighbors at 305-597-4404.
And we have an update for you tonight on the murder of a South Florida mother of 4 who was gunned down at a public storage facility in Miami. The man accused of killing Jocelyn Augustine was in court before a judge today. Wesley Henton was arrested over the weekend based on a tip to Crime Stoppers. Police say he robbed and then shot Augustine last Wednesday while an accomplice waited in a getaway car.
She was a good woman. They took her life for no reason, an innocent woman. I don't understand. You robbed her, you could have just pushed her, shoved her, that's it. You didn't have to shoot her in the face.
Augustine's family hopes that police will catch the getaway driver. Police say he's in his 20s and wears long dreadlocks. The getaway car is a white over gold 1997 Mazda 626 with a sunroof and a rear spoiler. It has the Florida tag 223VFK. If you have any information on the case, call Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS.
Well, you may have noticed we're bringing you the news from a different set tonight. That's because we have a new set, but it is under construction right now.
Yeah, we kind of like this one, though. We're very excited about it, so stay tuned over the next few weeks to see our new digs, which are being constructed, and the surprises we have for you when it's all done. Should be nice.
Weeks.
Yeah.
Coming up, new details tonight in the racially charged remarks by Senator Harry Reid. See who's coming to his defense now.
Your free ride is almost over. The changes that'll soon be coming to your I-95 commute.
I wanted the natural look. I wanted my breasts to look like what they did before I had my daughter.
The ideal breast implants. Meet the women at the center of making the next generation breasts and how you can get paid for getting them.
And 2 big entertainment moves. Simon Cowell says he is out, and Sarah Palin scores a new TV deal. Details next.
Race and Senator Harry Reid. Tonight, Democrats are lining up to defend the House Majority Leader and his racially charged remarks about President Barack Obama. The remarks revealed in a new tell-all book.
Senator Reid says he was giving then Senator Barack Obama a compliment, but Republicans are not buying that and want Reid to step down. President Obama insists the uproar over Senator Harry Reid's racial remarks makes no sense to him.
There was nothing mean-spirited in what he had to say, and he's always been on the right side of the issues.
Reid's under fire after comments he made showed up in the book Game Change, a new tell-all about the 2008 campaign. While speaking favorably about President Obama's presidential hopes, Reid described him as a light-skinned African-American with, quote, no Negro dialect unless he wanted to have one. Senator Reid had this to say about it today.
I've apologized to the president. I've apologized to everyone that in the sound of my voice that I could have used a better choice of words.
If that had been Mitch McConnell saying that about an African-American candidate for president of the United States, trust me, this chairman and the DNC would be screaming for its head.
Republicans argue there's a double standard in Washington when it comes to race. They point to the controversy that cost their own former Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott his job. In 2002, Lott praised Senator Strom Thurmond's 1948 segregationist presidential campaign. Lott was forced to resign his leadership post, but BET commentator Jeff Johnson says the situations don't compare.
What we heard on the other side with Trent Lott was about seeing a system maintained that degraded a segment of people. Those aren't the same kind of comments.
Reid may survive the controversy for now, but it promises to only complicate what was already shaping up to be a very tough re-election battle for him in November. Well, not only the folks in Washington are talking about this, some of you have a lot to say on our website about Senator Reid's comments. First up, what a double standard. Do the demo leaders not understand the public is not entirely stupid and can see exactly how biased they are? Reid is a racist, period. Someone else wrote this: Harry Reid is not a bigot. He was just trying to find the right words. There's a difference between someone who doesn't know and a person who has hatred and fear in their hearts. Well, keep the comments coming in. Just go to CBS4.com, click on the story, and leave a comment. You might hear it on the air.
Former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin has scored a new job. Palin signed a multi-year deal to be a regular political commentator for Fox News. This is not the first broadcast gig for the 2008 GOP vice presidential candidate. Palin was a TV sports reporter in Alaska in 1988. The man America loves to hate is leaving American Idol. Simon Cowell says this season will be his last in the judges panel. Cowell says it's not about the money. It shouldn't be. He reportedly makes about $36 million a year on Idol. But he says he wants to devote time to a new show he's working on, The X Factor, which is expected to debut in the fall of 2011. Now to a special For Your Health report tonight. Saline or silicone? It's a question many women face when trying to decide on the ideal breast implant. And right now, there is a 10-year test trial for a newly designed implant. And as CBS 4's Cynthia Demas shows us, it includes a financial benefit for anyone who signs up.
I'm excited to be one of the first.
Marlon, who asked us not to use her last name, is one of 500 women across the country participating in a trial for the ideal implant.
I wanted the natural look. I wanted my breasts to look like what they did before I had my daughter.
Dr. Robert Hamas designed the ideal implant. It's a saline product with a new design that provides a natural look silicone is known for without the chemicals in a silicone implant.
We designed it so that it doesn't wrinkle. We designed it so that it has a natural feel and designed it so that it fits their chest wall.
Dr. Hamas says silicone implants carry the risk of silent rupture, a condition where chemicals might leak into the body without a woman's knowledge.
I've always been very athletic. Didn't ever want to take that risk of that rupture and me not knowing that, I have some chemical in my body and I have no idea.
Fort Lauderdale plastic surgeon Roberto Palma says the ideal implant eliminates that risk.
What's different about this implant is that it's got actually 4 different shells, as opposed to a classic saline implant which only has one shell. The yellow shell is an actual separate breast implant that sits in there and maintains the integrity, maintains the anatomy.
And there's a financial benefit for patients too. Women must pay for their surgeries, but if they complete the FDA-approved 10-year trial, they get an added bonus.
We developed a trust fund that is independent of the company that provides women payment at the end of the follow-up visit.
Marlon had her surgery about 5 months ago, and she's pleased with the results.
I love the way they look and they feel. I have no complaints whatsoever. It's better than what I expected.
Ideal Implant puts $3,500 in each participant's trust fund. At the end of the trial, that fund should grow to about $8,000 to $10,000. The trial is still open for new patients. For Your Health, I'm Cynthia Demas, CBS 4 News.
I guess women should see more than one doctor, get a lot of opinions out there, right?
Absolutely, before you do any type of surgery, yeah.
Okay, and before you do the Duval Street crawl on Key West, check with David Bernard, because they broke a record in Key West yesterday, didn't they?
They did. I mean, we've been breaking records all over the place. In fact, guys, after I go through this explanation on Key West, go to my blog at cbs4.com. There is more than you will ever want to know about the cold the past 10 days in South Florida, more than I can impart here in the next couple of minutes. Well, this morning we had a record low set in Key West at 42 degrees. That's a big deal. You know what's even a bigger deal is that Key West came within 1 degree of the coldest temperature ever measured there. That is 41 degrees. It happened in 1886 and once again in 1981. And on Sunday, the high temperature in Key West, that was the coldest day since 1940. Amazing stuff. All right, here's our weather out there tonight, and we're hovering around the 50-degree mark. Here at CBS 4, we're at 49 degrees. Extremely dry out there with the stickiness scale at 0 and low humidity for this time of the night, 49%. The northwest winds have picked up a little bit, and there's a few clouds up there. Will that be enough to keep the temperatures up overnight? Well, it's a little risky to say so I'm keeping things on the low side still. For instance, in Tamarack right now, Challenger Elementary School, it's 45 degrees with a northwest wind at around generally 2 to 3 miles per hour. The rest of the state, it's freezing still. Tampa, 35 in Orlando already, 20s at Tallahassee, Gainesville, and Jacksonville. The cold does not want to leave Florida, not just yet. We have a frost advisory tonight for far southwest and South Miami-Dade, also for far western Broward. Again, in the extreme case that we get clear skies, these clouds move out, and the winds stay light, we're going to see temperatures in the low to mid 30s, and it will be ideal conditions for frost. 40 from Fort Lauderdale to Hollywood, and in Miami-Dade, again, that South Dade, southwest area of Dade, the Redland up to West Kendall, back to Homestead and Florida City. If the winds die down and we clear out, there's going to be a frost potential, maybe even patchy frost in northwest Miami-Dade, but generally around 40 degrees in central Dade and mid-40s on the beach. And tonight in Key West, no all-time low, 48, cold enough, and in the upper Keys, Key Largo is going to be around 44. So we're generally clear and cold tonight. We've had just a few of those scattered clouds come in the past hour. Tomorrow, though, after our cold start, we're going to be a little bit milder in the afternoon. We'll see a lot of sun, so it'll be like today, but maybe 3 or 4 degrees warmer. Again, this is not going to be a real fast warm-up. It's going to be gradual each day. Chilly start still on Wednesday morning, but pleasant sun in the afternoon. Then by late week, I'm going to use the 3 words, back to normal, with temperatures in the 70s and a mixture of sun and clouds. A front's going to approach for the weekend that might bring you some clouds and showers, but these southerly winds are really going to warm it up. In fact, we might get near 80, but this is not an Arctic front, so don't look for any major cold snaps behind it. Here's our forecast in for tonight. Still cold, inland frost advisory, 33 the coldest spot, 45 at the coast, and then for tomorrow, 64. Cold start, but milder afternoon sun, and then on the water, look for northwest winds 10 to 15 with 2 to 4 foot seas. So again, notice the gradual warm up that we finally break into the 70s on Thursday and Friday, maybe a stray shower around Friday and Saturday, maybe an 80 on Saturday. That's something to jump for joy over, and showers around on Sunday and around 78 degrees. So you can see things are going to improve, guys. We need about another 24 to 48 hours to get back to our old South Florida selves.
I really, really miss the 70s.
I know, me too.
Can't wait for the 70s. All right, still ahead. Get ready for changes to your commute. Your free ride is about to be over with.
Plus, we'll take a look at the hot new rides at this year's biggest auto show.
And we have a job fair alert for you tonight. A big job fair will take place tomorrow for the new village at Gulfstream Park. It's at the Hallandale Beach Cultural Center at 3 p.m. We put all the information on our website, cbs4.com/foryourmoney.
The CBS 4 I-Team investigates local problems
and works hard to find solutions. Take a deep breath.
What most people don't know about smoke detectors.
How are your tax dollars being spent? We went through the budget line by line.
Where are your eyes, your ears? Do you feel safe living here?
No. Your voice when no one else is listening.
A near accident covered up for weeks until the I-Team got involved.
We're the CBS 4 I-Team.
When we report, we get results.
Your free ride on I-95 is about to be up. The tolls for the southbound express lanes kick in on Friday. They go into effect at 5:30 that morning. The southbound express lanes run from Miami Gardens Drive to State Road 112. The toll amounts will be deducted from your SunPass account. Fees will vary based on congestion and the time of day.
U.S. automakers unveiled their latest designs at the Detroit Auto Show. The Big Three hope new green cars will put them back in the black, and all 3 automakers have some good news. Ford and GM introduced new designs. Chrysler did not show anything new, but says it may hire some new workers. You can check out a slideshow of new models and concept cars at cbs4.com.
Next in sports, the Heat continue their road trip tonight in Utah.
And we'll have more on Mark McGwire's admission he used steroids next.
And now, CBS 4 Sports.
From Ripapat here. Well, the Heat has only won 2 out of their last 7 matchups. The good news is they're playing the Utah Jazz, whom they've won 5 straight against. The bad news is the Heat didn't play so hot tonight. And Dwayne Wade sprained his right wrist in the first quarter when he falls awkwardly. He would return in the second quarter. Meanwhile, Carlos Boozer with the flush and one. And then even after D-Wade returns in the second quarter, the Jazz just keeps making music. Darren Williams with the running layup. So the Jazz goes into the half up by 11, but by the fourth, it is just a blowout. Wesley Matthews with a deep 3. Jazz goes on to win 111-89. Well, Mark McGwire knew this day would come. He just didn't know when. And after years of denial, the former St. Louis Cardinals slugger finally admits to using steroids. McGwire says he used steroids and HGH on and off for nearly a decade, and that includes a year he set the single-season home run record in 1998. He hit 70 homers that season. Big Mac was recently hired by the Cardinals as their hitting coach in October. The 46-year-old says he wanted to come clean before spring training started in February. Well, the Dolphins aren't wasting any time making personnel changes. Today, the team fired defensive coordinator Paul Pasqualoni. Pasqualoni's defense allowed an NFL-high 140 points in the fourth quarter this season. Pretty much unacceptable. Well, from firing to hiring, Pete Carroll is official. It is official. The head coach for the Seattle Seahawks, the former USC head coach, signed a 5-year deal reportedly worth $33 million. Now, prior to joining the Trojans in 2000, Carroll had been a longtime coach and coordinator in the NFL, so this is not new territory for him. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back.
That's it for CBS 4 News tonight. Remember to join CBS 4 News this morning starting at 5 a.m.
The Late Show with David Letterman is next. Have a great night and stay warm.
And Lisa Gonzalez will have the very latest on the chilly forecast. And if you have any new pictures, Elliot, this morning you took a picture of frost.
I had frost on my car. I sent it. We have it on our website, cbs4.com.